Okay, so listen, nothing crazy going down this week. That's great. We could all use a break from the full moons and the eclipses and the demons and monsters under our beds. Isn't that nice? However, whenever there is a break in astrological activity, I always like to see it as this indicator of what's on the horizon to come, right? So there's nothing crazy going on. Saturn and the sun were talking yesterday, and that's a fast, nice transit where we're kind of able to reflect a little bit better and we're able to get organized. And then we're going to do a little dance with Neptune tomorrow and just this week. It's going to feel like the theme of this week is going to need to be flexibility. How can you let go of your attachment to your house having to look a certain way, to your day having to go a certain way, to life having to be a certain way, to your people having to be a certain way? What would it look like if we all could embody flexibility this week? If we could all just cut each other some slack and, not have to have the answers and not have to have everything figured out, It's this last week before winter break. We all want our kids to stay well. We all want to be just the right amount of busy and Christmas magic and all of that stuff. But with that always comes so much pressure. How should I be feeling in the holiday season? How should I be, participating in my community? How should I be as a parent or a partner or whatever? And the shoulds can really sneak up this week, because there isn't going to be a lot of access to organization as much. And so allowing that to be okay, allowing it to wash over us. We have this last little bit of time with Jupiter in Pisces where we can really understand that when we're living life in a different level, in a more aware level, in a more creative level, on a more true to ourselves level, that we really have this opportunity for growth that's so lovely. Because now, yay, we're in the pre-Mercury retrograde shadow, which means Mercury retrograde's coming up. So use this week, whatever comes up this week, whatever looks like it's almost about to break or what kind of isn't working. Those are going to be the themes coming up in the Mercury retrograde, right? Whatever the hint is, take the hint, It's a really mild, mellow hint this week, but right after Christmas comes Mercury retrograde. And I kind of love this for us because Mercury retrograde can be hard, this is true, but this is the dark time. Solstice is coming up next week. It's the longest night, and it really is the time to stop with the intensity of I should do this. It's time to get quiet. It's time to listen. It's time to, enjoy your Christmas lights, not just do it for everybody else, but what are you doing for you? And what is coming up in your soul as everything quiets down and there's not as much to do? That's really huge because Mercury retrograde can come in after the holidays and really jingle jangle our bells in a way that's like not rad. It's like we can get burnt out. We can feel like we spent too much money, like we spent too much resource. And then this Mercury retrograde is going to be more about building ourselves back up from a place that we allowed ourselves to get depleted. So what if now that I've just told you this, now that I've told you this is so, how can you righteously take care of yourself? How can you do one less thing? How can you make one less coffee date? How can you prepare yourself to go internal and to take some time away from all of the intensity of what this social holiday seasons are? And really, there's an opening here to be okay with not being perfect. That's what Mercury retrograde wants to teach us in general. That's what I feel like the holidays force us to look at in general. So why not really go there with yourself? Maybe also take accountability for how we are intrinsic procrastinators. Where do you procrastinate in your life? Where do you wait till the last minute to get things done? Are you a stocking shopper on Christmas Eve? Don't do that. Don't put yourself in places where you're gonna have to be really engaged, really fast, in really intense ways. Get your presents now. Wrap them now. Put them under the tree now. That's pretty anyway. You know, allow yourself the gift of time, because this is like a time warning. It's like, hey, the astrology is pretty chill. It's pretty chill. It's going to feel a little bit muddled. I feel like energy is going to be a little bit hard to come by this week. But I also feel like it's an opportunity to deeply look at where your energy is at. Take a pulse, take an idea. I love this. Listen to your intuition. Listen, just take a minute. You know, we are all so busy anyway. Take away the holidays, whatever. We are such a busy species. It's almost like we have romanticized this being busy all the time. And what's it good for? You know, well, it's good for getting things done. It's good for paychecks. It's good for parenting. It's all of those things. But what gets lost? That's our soul. That's our intuition. That's our inner voice. We're all so used to tapping it down. We're all so used to ignoring it. You know, it's why it's really interesting that we're faced with a pandemic too, with this like notion of sickness and our relationship to sickness and our, you know, glorification of busy, and then undervaluing what it means when we get sick and need to rest, or what it means when we're like, I can't get sick right now. It's like, okay, all right, well, what does your body have to say about that? Like, what does your stress levels have to say about that? Most of us get so sick after we've done like a big something, because we intrinsically, when we're focused on what's the most important thing, which is being busy and getting things done, then we ignore what actually, like, spoiler alert, is the most important thing, which is us and inside of us. And you know, this could be a week where your body is really telling you something, or your heart is really trying to tell you something. And if you aren't slowing down, if you don't take that time, if you don't respect your sacred boundary, then it's going to shout at you during Mercury retrograde. So this is subtle. The moon is so beautiful. The moon is the energy that asks us to be quiet and to really understand ourselves on a completely different level. Because then when Mercury retrograde comes around, whatever, we got it. We know ourselves. We know our flaws. We know what was fixing to break. And we've already got it. We've already been like attuning ourselves in that direction. Okay? So it's an easy week. But when there's an easy astrological week, how can we fill it with reverence? How can we fill it with rest? How can we fill it with a break from the things that ails us, a break from the judgments that we get ensnared in? How do we take a moment and really live in that moment? This is such a great opportunity for that. And then you can take that medicine into Christmas. You know, it's all about the present wrapping and the people coming over and the this and the that and the grief and the missing and the things that we don't have. These things all bubble up to the surface. But what if we have these 2 weeks to really see where our deficits are, to really see where our hurts are, to really see where we're not nourished in this moment, and nourish it so that we can start looking at the holidays differently, so that we can start doing our busy lives differently. Whenever there's a quiet week, there's always an opportunity to get quiet, and I invite you to get quiet, which is why maybe the video is shorter this week, because we're all getting quiet. We're all going to be working with our own inner sanctum. And I really invite you to do that. Cancel the coffee dates. Cancel the everything. Spend more time by the Christmas tree. Listen to beautiful music. Write, read, do things that help you be more quiet. Because I think we forget the gift and what's there for us when we can all settle in and be a little bit more quiet. Please like and subscribe to my page, my YouTube videos, so that I can keep making these videos for you. I love it so. I'm trying to grow. That's my Christmas wish, is I'm trying to grow. So help me grow. Help, while also being quiet. Okay, bye.